Hello, good morning students, and welcome back once again to another video for the class 9 gravitational chapter. Okay, so in the previous video we studied about the acceleration due to gravity. Okay, and we found this that the acceleration due to gravity is given by a symbol g. Okay, and its value is 9.8 meters per second square. Because this is acceleration, there is the unit of acceleration, and this acceleration is for the object which is free falling, that is under the influence of gravitational force. Okay, so if you remember, if the object is falling, which means it is moving, the object is in motion. So in the first chapter which we studied was actually motion, and we had three equations if you remember. V is equal to u plus at, second equation S is equal to ut plus half at square, and the third equation is 2as equals v square minus u square, or v square minus u square equals 2as. So we had these three equations of motion. In all these cases, we were using acceleration according to the actual change in the velocity of the object, that is either a vehicle or it can be anything else. But in this case, in this particular case, if the object is free falling, then for every given object the acceleration is same, whether it is either a marker or a pen or a feather or a paper. It doesn't matter, as long as it is free falling, like I mentioned before. If the object is suffering from any other force as well, or if any other force is acting on it, like the frictional force of the atmosphere, then this 9.8 meters per second square acceleration will not be considered, because at that time there is another force acting on it as well, along with the gravitational force. So you cannot add 9.8 meters per second square if the object is not free falling. But for simplicity purposes, we will consider the objects which is falling, which is having very less frictional force, that is a marker falling down or a small ball falling down, whether it is a cricket ball or a rubber ball, it doesn't matter. In such kind of cases and such kind of numericals we will be taking into consideration, where we will be neglecting the frictional force of the atmosphere around us. Okay, so for simplicity purposes, we will be talking directly in terms of the object which is free falling. So if the object is free falling, then every object will be having same acceleration, that is 9.8 meters per second square, which remains constant on the surface of our earth only. So if the object is free falling on the surface of earth, its acceleration is taken as 9.8 meters per second square. Now in all these equations we have acceleration, and if the object is free falling, these equations are transformed. That is, the first equation will become v is equal to u plus gt, because g is once again acceleration just because of gravity. So s is equal to ut plus half gt square. And third one, v square minus u square equals 2gs, or 2gs equals v square minus u square. So these three equations you will be taking into consideration when the object is free falling while the solving numericals for this particular chapter. Now one thing to take into consideration is that this value 9.8 meters per second square, you have to take this by default, but in some cases while solving the numericals, this value will be given approximately as 10, because 9.8 is very close to 10. But don't use 10 unless it is mentioned in the question. Okay, 10 meters per second square. Otherwise you will have to use this value 9.8. I hope it is clear to you students. Now we will move on to a numerical. Okay students, so I have a numerical for you. A car falls off a ledge and drops to the ground in 0.6 seconds. So a car is falling from a particular height towards the ground in just 0.6 seconds. So it is not even completing one full second. It stops before that. Taking the value of g as 10 meters per second square, like I mentioned, if the value of g is given 10, then use this value so as to make the calculation simply. Okay, simplified. The next is, according to this value, you have been given three questions. So first question is, what is its speed when striking on the ground? So obviously the car is falling, right? So when it starts to fall, at that particular time its initial velocity is 0 and it falls a particular distance, okay, that is the height. And after that, because of the height, when it is free falling for 0.6 seconds, it is going to have certain acceleration, and that acceleration is 10 meters per second square because of gravity, okay. And that particular time, when it just touches the ground, it will have a certain velocity, that is its final velocity. You are supposed to find that final velocity. So in order to do that, we will use the first equation, that is v is equal to u plus gt. Quite simple actually. Final velocity you are supposed to find. Initial velocity is 0. So v is equal to 0 plus 10 into 0.6 seconds. Time is already in seconds. Multiply this. 10 into 0.6 becomes 6. So v is equal to 0 plus 6. Therefore v is equal to 6 meters per second. So this is the solution for the first question. The answer is 6 meters per second. The velocity of the car when it is falling for 0.6 seconds and just touching the ground, at that time its velocity will be 6 meters per second. I hope it is clear to you, students. Moving on, second question. What is its average speed during the 0.6 seconds? So the total time has been given to you, 0.6 seconds. So average speed, that is once again the equation or the question from the very first chapter, finding the average speed and average velocities. The average speed has simple formula, u plus v divided by 2. Okay, initial and final velocity, quite simple. Initial velocity is 0 plus final velocity we just found out, that is 6 divided by 2. So this becomes 6 by 2, that is 3 meters per second. So the average speed is 3 meters per second. Once again, quite simple, this also. Now the last one. The question is, how high is the ledge? So you are supposed to find the distance. So suppose, imagine this is the car, it falls from the ledge, okay. So it will travel a certain distance. So basically you are finding the distance traveled during this motion. And for that, if you find the distance, you find the height. So remember, we have two equations, v square minus u square equals to gs, where s is the distance or it can be taken as height, okay. And the next one is s is equal to ut plus half gt square. Once again, in this we have distance. This distance can be taken as height. Okay, because whatever distance it is traveling, that is the height of the ledge. Simple. So whenever the object is free falling, the distance is taken as height and acceleration is taken as g. Okay. So finding the height, we can use either the two of this. We will not use this one. We will use this one. It will make the things much more simpler. Okay. U is 0, 0. Time is 0.6. Okay. Plus half. G is given as 10. And time is once again given as 0.6. But remember, there is a square over here. Don't forget that. So 0.6 square. Solving this, 0 into 0.6 or 0 into any number gives you 0 plus half into 10. Or I can write, I can cancel over here 2 5s 10. So I will get 5 over here and I can remove the half. Okay. So I will write 5 over here. That is 5 into 0.6 6 square, that is 36. 6 into 6 is 36 and 2 decimal points, so I will get 0.36 because multiplying 0.6 into 0.6, okay, this will give you 36 and 2 decimal points, so 0.36. This is how we are supposed to solve. Multiplying 5 into 0.36, this will give you 0 plus 5 6 30, 5 3 15, 16 17 18, 0 and 1 give you answer 1.80, 2 decimal places. 0 plus 1.80 will give you 1.80, or I can write just 1.8, and this is the height, that is 1.8 meters. So the height of the ledge is 1.8 meters. Quite simple actually. You find the distance and you find the height when the object is free falling. I hope it is clear to you, students. Quite simple. One numerical has given you 3 different questions. Okay, according to one simple detail given, acceleration is given 10 and the time is given. You are supposed to find the final velocity, then average velocity, then the height of the ledge. For finding the final velocity, we use v is equal to u plus gt, modified version of the first equation, u plus at. Instead of that, we are using u plus gt. Second one, average speed. In this average speed, there are no changes because the average speed does not relate to the free falling, so no need to change the equation. U plus v by 2, initial plus final divided by 2 gives you 0 plus 6, 6 by 2 gives you 3 meters per second. Finally, the last one, you can take 2 of this, either of this. H is equal to ut plus half gt square I have taken because squaring v square 6 into 6 36, getting complications, it's better just use this one. Okay. 0 into 0.6 plus half into 10 into 0.6 whole square, because S is equal to ut plus half gt square. This is the modified equation, and that S is the distance travelled and that distance is the height. How much from how high the car is actually falling from the ledge. How high is the ledge basically. So that is what we are finding. Height, that is the distance travelled, and height is equal to 0.6, just substituting the values, solving the basic numerical, and you get the final answer, that is 1.8 meters. I hope it is clear to you, students. Okay students, so I have another numerical for you. This one is a little bit complicated, so pay attention. An object is thrown vertically upwards to a height of 13.07 meters. Calculate velocity with which the object was thrown and the time taken by the object to reach the highest point. So imagine that a child is playing with a ball and he has thrown a ball vertically upwards in the air. So let's take this scenario into consideration. Let's say that from this particular point, the ball is thrown to a height. Now obviously the ball is going against gravity. Okay, so we have been given the height, but we have not been given the velocity. But obviously when the boy is throwing the ball, he is throwing with a certain velocity. So it is going to have a certain initial velocity. So you are supposed to find u, that is initial velocity. Now obviously when the velocity is going in the upward direction, the acceleration is acting in the downward direction, because you know that whatever thing you throw up, it comes down. So let's say that this object is thrown upwards. As you can see, it reaches a certain point and then it starts to come back. Because whenever I am throwing it with a certain speed, that speed comes to a certain point, then it becomes 0, then the object starts falling again. Okay, so this is exactly what is happening over here. So the boy is throwing the ball to a certain height. That height has been given to you, height as 13.07 meters. After 13.07 meters, the ball at this particular point stops for a moment, and then its final velocity v becomes 0 meters per second. So you have to imagine this. You have to understand what is actually happening and what will happen. So at 13.07 meters, that is the highest point the ball has gone, and that particular point its velocity becomes 0. Now what happens? This ball starts coming down towards the ground. We are not interested in that. We are only interested in what happens when the ball goes up. So at that particular point, the velocity becomes 0. Velocity becomes 0, and the acceleration is acting downwards. This acceleration is acting downward because velocity is going this way, then acceleration is acting in this direction. So if you imagine, or if you remember the first chapter, if the vehicle is moving and the brakes are applied, at that time negative acceleration acts in the opposite direction. This is happening exact same thing. The vehicle is moving in the upward direction, but the acceleration is acting in the downward direction. Okay, and that is why its velocity decreases and the vehicle stops. In this case, the object stops and then it starts falling again. But let's not go down with that. So the acceleration is given to us as 9.8, which is nowhere mentioned in the question. Like I said, this is constant on the surface of Earth, and therefore you will have to remember this always. If the question has mentioned use g as 10 meters per second square, then obviously you will use But like I said, if it is not mentioned, you will use 9.8 during multiplication. I hope this much is clear to you, students. Now let's get on with the numerical. This was the part where you were understanding the scenario and the question. Now we will start with the solution. The first part is velocity with which the object was thrown. So you are supposed to find the initial velocity. Now let's substitute the equation. V is equal to u plus gt. Okay, g you know, u you have to find, v we know, that is 0 meters per second because the object is going to stop. So v is taken as 0, u you need to find, g as minus 9.8, and time, well, we don't know the time as well. So what do we do now? In that particular case, you cannot use this equation. For that, you will have to use either the second or the third equation. Okay, so for using the second equation, that is h is equal to ut plus half gt square. In this case, once again you can see that there is time, so you cannot use this equation as well. Okay, third equation, v square minus u square equals 2gh, where s is taken as the height. So we have height, we have acceleration, and we have the initial velocity. All you need to do is find the final velocity. Okay, once you find the you have the final velocity, you need to find the initial velocity. Substitute the values. Let's see what happens. So v square minus u square equals 2gh. V is taken as 0. So 0 square is 0 minus u square equals 2 into minus 9.8 into h, that is 13.07 meters. Okay, 0 minus any number is number itself, so I am writing minus u square equals 2 into 9.8 into 13.6. Once you multiply this, you will get the answer minus 256. You will get the answer minus 256. Minus sign can be cancelled from both the sides. You will get u square equals 256. Now 256 is actually a square of something, but we don't need square, we need square root. So we will apply the root on this side, so we apply the root on the other side as well. And what you get finally is u is equal to square root of 256 is 16. So you get the answer as 16 meters per second. Now that you have the value of initial velocity, you can find the time taken. And for that, no need to go for the second complicated equation. You can directly substitute the values in the first equation. So you are going to use the first equation, just not in the very beginning. First you will find the initial velocity and then you substitute the value over here. So we use this area on this side and we will find the time taken, that is v is equal to u plus gt. V is 0, u is 16 plus g is minus 9.8 and time you need to find. Okay, so 9.8 into t as it is, but we need to find t. So plus minus, it becomes minus. So what you get is 0 is equal to 16 minus 9.8 into t. Minus 9.8 into t, you take it on the other side, it becomes 9.8 into t equals 16. Okay, to take t, because now there is multiplication, you can do cross multiplication over here, so it becomes 16 upon 9.8. You take 9.8 in the denominator on the other side, because there is multiplication. When there is a plus and minus sign, you take it on the other side and the sign changes. But if they are in multiplication and you change the numbers, it becomes either into division or into multiplication. Basic mathematics. Okay, 16 divided by 99.8 will give you t is equal to 1.63 seconds. You can solve this by yourself, simple division. I am not going to bother with the division, you can do it yourself. Okay, but this is how you get the answer. So now you have the time taken as well. First, you need to find the velocity. After using the velocity, choose a particular equation that is easier for you, substitute the values, and then you can get the answer. That's all for today, students. Till next time, have a nice day.